Thanks to EA for making this video possible. Hey guys, my name is Angelia. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're not, welcome back. Today we are doing kind of another build video. I actually got a request from someone recently. Lyric Brewer 8617 asked, so do you think you can make a step-by-step video for your builds, specifically with layouts? I'm going to try. Honestly, with layouts, I tend to just it's trial and error, in all honesty. If I don't have like a blueprint up with like an actual floor plan of a build, then I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. But I do kind of have a specific thing that I do, or so I've noticed in terms of like my patterns when it comes to building, so I thought I would give it a try. So if you have been wondering how I do layouts, for the most part I just kind of make it up as I go along. So naturally I had to make a new house for this, because why not? Listen, this house got way out of hand. I was following a photo, which by the way, if you're wondering how I do build especially the outsides, I almost always have photos. Photos, at least for me, because I'm a very visual person, photos are the best way for me to build. I have to be able to see it, or it's like my brain cannot comprehend how to do it. So that's what I did here. This is a build that I found probably on Facebook. Again, I'm in like some Facebook groups where like they post pictures of like pretty houses. Also, I'm not doing face cam for this one because it's been a weird few days and I just kind of want to be a potato and build with you guys. So that's what we're doing. Let me put my walls all up. This top one is probably not going to be in use. This was mostly just for that to sit on top of. So let me bonk on down here. So as you can see, this is a completely clean slate. All I did was build the structure of the house so we would have something to work with in terms of me showing you how I do my layouts. So I don't have my windows set up yet. Usually I will always put in my windows before I start doing a layout, but it works either way. So we're just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna turn on the grid, even though I hate building with the grid on. We are going to grab our wall tool. Think of this as drawing. That's how I like to think of it, is I'm just drawing lines. I'm just drawing lines where I think they will look good, and then I will adjust based off of the needs of the house. Like if I need a kitchen to be a little bit bigger, I would probably like expand this or something. Everything you can change. That is the best part about The Sims. Anything you do, you can undo, you can redo it, you can fix it, you can do whatever you want. And that's one of my favorite things about The Sims, is that you're not stuck in like a box. You can do, well, this is a box, but you can do whatever you want. So nothing is set in stone. If you don't like something, change it. I always have to tell myself that it's okay if you don't like it at first. You can easily fix it. So that's what we're gonna do. So in looking at this house, I would probably put the staircase somewhere here. I always like to put my staircases right by the front door. Don't ask me why. It just works for me. And we're going to turn it, push it back. I might want it back a little bit further. That's like really close to the door. So maybe do here. That way they have a little bit more room. And because it is unfortunately a 3, I don't like how large that stair is. I might switch it back to like the 1. We're just gonna leave it there for now. I just need a way to get up and down. So we have that there. Oftentimes, if I can, I tend to build, I don't know if you can tell, especially with like this one. Right here it could go, because this is a straight wall. I do like to have them up against walls, but I also like them in front of the front door. I mean, if you can do either or, let me press, I think it's all button or is it control? It's control. So I can do it here, but then see it like comes out on this block, and I don't like that. So let me turn it and see if that will help, and we control it. Let's see what it looks like down here. That's not that bad. That is not that bad right there. And that would potentially like open up this space. We can put a desk here or something. So let me click that. So back here, I might be inclined to put a bedroom or maybe like a dining area, because then we could have like the back door here and it lead out over here. We could have like a little porch area right here. That could work. That could work. I'm just going to copy and paste this. I don't tend to worry about this stuff until later. Like, because sometimes I will change my mind when it comes to color palettes. I do it a lot. So I might add some flooring here just to make like a little deck, just so we have something there. And then I will promptly ignore this for the rest of this build, because we're focusing on the inside. So again, here I might actually either put the kitchen, like actually a kitchen would look really nice right there. I kind of want a living room here. See, the problem with this house is that it's very square. What I could do over here is maybe have something. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and start drawing it. I like my angled corners. I know a lot of people don't. It's not their thing. For me, I don't like when things look too boxy. I don't know, rounded corners to me just feel more open and inviting. Maybe it's because my house that I live in with my parents and Scott it has rounded corners everywhere. Everything's very open, and that's why you tend to see me doing an open floor plan a lot. Over here, actually, this could be a good spot for the living room because we could put that one couch there. I'm pretty sure there is a couch that we could actually fit in there. Again, that's another thing is I focus my rooms on stuff like that, and that's how I arrange stuff, like where I think something would look good. Where are they? Like something like this. It doesn't perfectly fit, but you know, it fits. So like we could do something like that, or maybe even just put a desk there. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that there for right now. I do put down placeholder items. I mean, as you can see, it's not like in the color palette I would particularly choose for this house and whatnot. Anyways, I just like to plop down some items just to kind of get an idea of where I can put stuff. I don't know if I necessarily want to put in a wall, because the wall would have to go right here under the stair and then like come out. So it's gonna look a little wonky. And I don't think I want to do that. A bathroom right here might be a good idea. This could also, that would be a really weird looking bathroom right in there. Again, sometimes when I build the exterior houses, it doesn't always work in terms of the house itself. Sometimes some things just don't fit within that space or the shape and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, I kind of want to do maybe a, let's test out a kitchen over here. So again, I'm just going to plunk down items. That is what I always like to do. Let me turn on the grid just to make it a little bit easier. So plunk, plunk. Maybe you leave that for a stove. Plunk. Do I want it to curve down this way? I kind of do, actually. So let's do it this way. Actually, let me get rid of that one. Again, this is all a part of the method to my madness when it comes to building. I know it seems a little bit redonkulous, but let's do it this way. Kind of cut that down and maybe put the fridge there. Again, for me, I'm very, very visual. I need to be able to see where I'm putting things before I put them down. Again, I'm just picking random stuff. I'm not worried about the color scheme at the moment. I just want to get stuff down, if that makes sense. Over here, I might put like a plant or something. I don't know. Sometimes I like to wall off the fridge. You guys have probably, if you've been around for a while, you probably have seen me do that, where I just kind of wall stuff off. I'm just going to plunk a little plant there. That's not too bad. It's still open. I don't know if I like the shape of it though, to be completely honest with you. I'm not a massive fan, but I don't think I want it here with like the stairs. You know what we could do? Is maybe curve the stairs like that. It's a little bit weird up here, but that's okay. Take the grid back off. But then I can't really put much under there because it's like such a weird shape. Sometimes stairs drive me bonkers. That's not too bad because I can still utilize that space. Put like some storage stuff under there maybe. Let me re-grab these stairs. Let me put those there. I'm leaving the wall there for a specific reason. I just want to see what it looks like with the wall there. It looks a little weird. Stairs are the bane of my existence sometimes. And right now is no different. I hate doing stairs sometimes. Like, they drive me crazy. Yeah, and this doesn't go up necessarily, although this would be a good space for the stairs. So let me just delete those. I'm gonna grab those again. So see, I can't put it there, but I can put it here. Okay. Bear with me. Bear with me. I promise there is a method here. We delete that. Yes, this is a wonky space, but I could just easily wall it off. Yes, it's a lot of unused space, but I like to put sometimes like the fire alarms into like these wonky spaces if I have to. Yeah, I don't think I want that walled off. I kind of want to put stuff in there. Okay, I kind of don't hate it right there. I feel like this makes a little bit more sense because it's kind of out of the way up here as well. So that means you have a lot more real estate to work with up here. Yep, that works for me. Okay, we're just gonna leave that for right now. Again, we can maybe even like put like a little archway in there. Let me see if we can actually do that. I know I'm getting like off track, but you guys wanted to see how I do my builds. This is how. It's just trial and error. 100%, especially with The Sims. Everything is trial and error. Ooh, yep, that fits. I could totally do that. Could have that in there, and then we could put like, I don't know, like the decorating box and such in there. The lighting is really bad though. The lighting is absolutely horrendous. I don't know why it does that with archways. It's so silly. Okay, this archway is not nearly as bad in terms of the weird like lighting that it was doing, so hopefully that's a little bit better. We're just gonna plonk a little light dude in there. Perfect. Okay. So we have that. We have the stairs ready to go. I will add in railings and whatnot to it once you actually get down to like the decorating part of it. Now we could wall some of this off because I feel like this kitchen is a little large, at least for me. It's a little ostentatious. Like I just want it a little bit smaller maybe. So let me grab my wall tool. Again, I like open floor plans. If you don't, that's totally up to you. I tend to prefer them. They just, I don't know, it makes me feel less closed off, less boxed in. So you could do something like that, or maybe even drag this forward a little bit so it's slightly closed off. Or we do have the option to completely close it off. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it's not terrible, to be honest. But do I love it? I don't know. And look, now the light is like being bleached out. It's so weird. I hate, why does it do that? Why? Why must you forsaken me, The Sims? Again, I don't know if I like it. I tend to prefer just having open floor plan. Let's see what it looks like completely boxed in. Sometimes I don't mind the harsh angles. Most of the time I do, but we do have some really nice like open archways, like the big, I don't know, like these ones. We do have some of these that could work, but the lighting is just going to be really silly. So I think I'm back to leaving this open. I no longer like that. I do not enjoy it. What I could potentially do, let me see. I'm thinking. What if we wrap the kitchen around this way and then put this here, but then it would have to come around like this way. If I were to put the door here, you see, that's a little weird. Okay, maybe we don't use that door. Maybe that is the key. Maybe we just don't use that door. We just pick a different door that's a little bit smaller. It's kind of hard when you're using like the tall wall shape, and I always like my outside doors to be the same height. I don't even know how to describe it, but like be the same height as the walls, because I feel like that just makes a little bit more sense. I was trying to find one that would kind of match that front door, but I don't think it will. Let's just put a little, is it partially white? Yeah, it is. Let's just put that there. It's going to look kind of wonky on the outside, but if we put windows here, it will look less weird. Oh, that drives me crazy. Okay, let me put this there. This one I can no longer use because that is the wrong side. And I would do it that there maybe. Either way, I think I like the kitchen idea being over here. I feel like that makes sense to me. Let's block it off that way. That makes more sense. See, I already like this better. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now we can revisit potentially having a bathroom over here because we did move the staircase, which is great. Again, trial and error is your best freaking friend when it comes to working with The Sims, especially when you're like trying to do a little bit of a layout here. I'm going to move this. I kind of also, maybe like an office over here. So we're actually going to kind of box this guy off. That's too small for a bathroom. Let's do this. And then maybe have this come down like this and like that. But the question is, do I like this being boxy? Probably not. It's gonna look really weird like that. That's a little weird. That's a little weird for me. That's a little weird even for me. Okay, let's put that back like that. We will put the plant here. When in doubt, put plants, because it really helps to fill in spaces, especially awkward corners like that where you don't know what to do with that. Plants. So this bathroom is now big enough to put whatever you kind of need in there. So we're going to grab this, plonk, plonk, and that already has a light. I could actually make this right here into a bedroom. Like maybe we could do like a guest room right there, and then definitely have the living room here. Living room, I feel like makes total sense right here. It's just, we're going to have like a lot of open space. So I almost want to put like a room here, but I don't know what. When in doubt, just draw it and see what happens. I almost don't like that, but let me, again, when in doubt, just move stuff. It won't hurt it. You're not gonna break anything. The Sims is very flexible. We could perhaps do like maybe a formal dining room here. I almost feel like this is too long though, so I am going to cut it a little bit shorter. Just because, yeah, why not? We could actually maybe put like a bathroom here, like another tiny bathroom. Maybe. I feel like that wouldn't be a terrible idea. Having more bathrooms is always a good idea, regardless. Or maybe like, I don't know, a pantry, a closet. Sky's really the limit in terms of what you want to add. But now we have quite a few rooms, which is good. So yeah, this is kind of what I just do. I just kind of map things out. I will place down items just to kind of see what it would look like if I did, where it would go type of situation. Let me put a light there just because there's a shadow there. I could even put a light here if I wanted to, like just like a little stand-up light. Listen, I'm gonna grab my favorite one that I always use. This one. Absolutely adore that lamp. I don't know why. It's beautiful. And that looks okay right there. I wonder actually if this would be better suited maybe for like, I don't know if I'd like a closed off living room, but what I could do is draw this a little bit shorter. Okay, so we're gonna drag it here instead. And then delete this space because I feel like it's just too much. It's too close. This was too narrow for me. This could still work as like a tiny guest bedroom right off the bat. It could still work. And this could still work as a living room. You just have to kind of figure out where you want to put the TV. Maybe even put like long windows right here. And I don't know, you could put a desk there instead of using this. You don't necessarily need that. And then maybe put the TV right here, have the couch over here, or vice versa, TV over here with the couch here. That could potentially work. I just grabbed my favorite door from Seasons. Because you guys know I love that door. It's my favorite. I'm just gonna put that door there. And then, you know, you figure out the layout as you go along, like where you want the doors, where you need it situated and whatnot. Overall, I'm not upset about this. I'm gonna put that there because I always like to end my walls in columns, especially if I'm like this. The kitchen, I will definitely be coloring a different color scheme because I don't like to keep my kitchens the same as the rest of the house. So that could work. I could even shift this over one so it's not quite like that. Just plonk it right there instead. And then I could put maybe a trash can there, which could totally work. And there you go, little trash can deal. Perfect, that's a little bit better actually, because I like that the door is now centered on that wall, at least from the outside. That works a little bit better in my brain. And now you could put like, maybe just like a random kitchen table right in this area, maybe with the formal dining section right here. Or, I don't know, whatever you want to put there, you totally can. It's not like there are no rules when it comes to The Sims. So now I would probably drag this guy all the way over. Now that we have this right there, I would definitely add a larger deck area, kind of like that. Plop in some windows here to make it look a little bit more, I don't know, less empty right here. Put them right there. I think it's actually a little bit further down. I'd probably use the shorter windows just because the countertops are right there and I don't like the countertops showing through the window. Maybe that's just my pet peeve, but it's not my yam jam. Perfect. There we go. That works a little bit better. So you filled in that empty space. And again, when in doubt, add windows because windows fill up a lot of wall space, at least on the outside wall. So you have less paintings and stuff that you have to add. So you have less of like a physical wall space to fill up in terms of decorations. And then you can just use windows with the coverings and it adds a lot to a house. I'm actually not upset with this layout in the slightest. Again, only time would tell what I would actually do for it. So I'm not gonna really go through and do the upstairs just because it's more of the same. Again, it's just playing around with things. I would almost turn this area into maybe like a little sitting area if you want to, or this like section right here would be a master bedroom just so they have like a little bay window. If that makes sense, I would totally do that. That makes a lot of sense to me too. What I do want to do though is maybe plop in some of the windows that I've been talking about. Let's maybe add some windows. Add like 2 there. Just like really fill that in. I would keep this even just because if I add another one, A, the light's gonna get a little bit wonky, and B, it's just gonna be a little bit too much window for me. Up here, you're probably gonna need the smaller one because I do the, it's gonna sound so silly when I say it out loud. I do the Disneyland technique in which I use essentially forced perspective when I'm building. So this level is always the middle wall height, and then the top level is always short. So you're creating a little bit more dimension, especially when you start to go up. So like it looks like, I don't know. I like the way that always looks. Maybe that's silly of me, but yeah, that's what I tend to do. Also, I will say for up here, I will usually either add a wall, so like there's not just this empty space right there, or I add in a fence. I probably wouldn't use this fencing, I'd probably pick something else, but for the sake of this video, I would do something like that, just so like it looks like a railing and you're not gonna just flop off down the stairs. Like there's something there that you know, you can hold on to and whatnot. So yeah, I hope that this helps. I feel like building especially is a very personal choice in how you want to build. If you don't like the method to my madness, you don't have to do that. If you are the type of person that needs to build specifically off a floor plan, go for it. I build looking at photos all the time. Like for me, it's really hard to build without having a photo because again, I'm a very visual person and we all have our own little quirks when it comes to building. But this for me works. Again, I will rearrange and do it all over constantly if I don't like something. There have been times when I'm building houses I don't like the spot of the living room and I'm constantly just switching them around. I'll move into different corners of the house and see how I like it. See if like the layout works, if the Sims would have enough space to get backwards and forwards, you know. You have to make sure they can get to places. I try to keep that in mind, and by doing that, I always have the grid on. Not always, but like if I'm making sure they can get past the space, I tend to like to have one full square. Yes, they can get past on like the half squares. I feel like they get stuck more. So yeah, everything with the Sims is trial and error. Think of it as a puzzle or a drawing that you're trying to do. You can fix it. You can go back, you can erase what you did, you can start all over again. And that is the best part about The Sims, especially with the building. Specifically in The Sims 4 building. It's so intuitive and it's just fun. Don't stress out about it. I tend to as well, especially if I'm recording and doing a speed build and whatnot. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get this perfect on the first try. But no, you don't. The Sims is not perfect. You are not perfect. And sometimes you find like the best builds that you have done are just by little accidents, if you want to quote Bob Ross. It's just happy little accidents. Some of my favorite houses that I have built have started off, I hated them, but I kept going with them and then they ended up being my favorite. All I would say is just don't stress out about it. It's just The Sims, you know, you can do whatever you want. I could even put like a table right here actually for the dining room and it would still work. You can still have a little like breakfast table and then a formal dining room if you want to. You could turn something into a music room if you want to. What I like to do is just specifically, I like to draw out the layout, get the room sectioned off to where like it feels realistic and there's not a huge open space. Like, yes, the space is open, but it's not a ginormous space to where it's like, oh my god, this is just empty. It's just an empty house. It won't be, because you're gonna have people living in here. You're gonna have like maybe toys scattered throughout here, science projects and what have you. So now it's just a matter of figuring out what goes where. Do I want this to be a bedroom? Do I want this to be a music room? Do I want this to be an art room? That's up to you and your Sims needs. And then upstairs, again, I tend to put my bedrooms usually upstairs unless I have like, you can even put a nursery down here. That would actually be a good idea because like toddlers can't get up and down the stairs pretty easily and neither can the infants. Put the nursery down here. Stuff like that. Just don't stress out about it. Again, I don't know if this is going to be helpful, but my biggest tip is think of it like a little puzzle. Think of it as a drawing, because you are just drawing walls. And the best part is you don't have eraser marks on here. So hopefully this helps. I'm sorry if it wasn't super informative, but this is, again, I just kind of go with that. I look at the corners of the houses and I start from there and I work my way inward is mostly what I do. And again, I tend to prefer open layout, so you will often see my kitchen slightly closed off. I tend to not do super closed off kitchens, and I definitely don't do closed off living rooms. And then I just kind of fit things where I need them and want them. And eventually it will all come together. So I hope this helped. If you did have any layout concerns, I hope this was at least slightly informative. Again, I don't have like a true method to my madness. I just kind of go for it and hope for the best, and then it turns out. Layouts are probably my absolute least favorite thing to do. You don't have to be stressed out. It's fairly easy. Do what works for you. Do the style that works for you. If you like open layouts, do open layouts. If you like everything kind of closed in, make it closed in. That's the beauty of The Sims. We all have our own styles. We all have our own techniques. And I think that's what makes it great and a lot of fun. So again, I really hope that this helps. I'm rambling so much because I don't know if I'm helping and whatnot. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a magical day and I will see you guys next time. Bye!